Hello and welcome to The Fat Squirrel Speaks. Today is Tuesday, September 30th? Is it the 30th or 29th? I don't know, but it's really close to the end of September. And this is episode 124 or 5. I don't know. I'm your hostess, Amy Beth, also known as The Fat Squirrel, and I just found a hole in my sweater. Not hand knit. But it's all the same. I'm your hostess, The Fat Squirrel, on Ravelry, and The Fat Squirrel, The Fat SQRRL, on Instagram. Hi, how are you? It's been a while, hasn't it? I'm so sorry I did not record last week. It was just crazy. There was no good reason. Yes, you can make fun of me. I do have a sippy cup lid for my water because I'm 7. Actually, what it is, this is the sewing area, also known as my dining room table. And I'm sewing a lot right now, and I'm always afraid I'm going to knock my drinks over, so I have to have the security of a lid because I'm a child. And also I'm a hot mess. Look at my sweater, look crazy. Finding holes in my sweater. The hair's super flat looking. Oh my gosh. But I'm here, and I'm doing it. Yeah. So recording will be a little bit spotty for a while. No, nothing bad. Just like scheduling issues. My partner is home more during the day this time of year and he's like working seconds. So like finding that very small window between recording like when there's nobody in the house because it's just weird to record when there are people here. That's all there is to it. And then this is also like my sleep window where I don't actually sleep, but that's all I think about. Does anybody else like that? From 2:30 to 4, I'm just like, dude, I need to sleep. So anyway, so it'll be fun. And we're going, fall break is coming. Because the winter's almost October. The summer lasted for so long. What happened? Now it's all, that was October. What? It's crazy. I know, right? There's only like a month of apple picking left. I know, right? Because there's not still 10 pounds of apples sitting on my counter. No. Well, we need to get black twigs. Come on, people. The Ida Reds are waiting for us. Crazy town. So anyway, that stuff I just talked about. I don't know what it is. But shenanigans! I did not go to the wool gathering. Oh, sorry. I have to stop for a second because the battery... Apparently, I forgot to plug in the charger thing, so just a minute. So anyway, what was it? Oh, shenanigans. I did not go to the wool gathering. There was craziness. Nothing bad, just crazy. But I hear it was a lovely time. So I hope you all, if you did go, yay! What else? Oh, I got to go to Joanna Springs. I feel guilty even mentioning it. She's so fancy. In her non-fancy way. She's so fancy. So I totally had to go harvesting with Joanna Springs. Joanna Spring. Emilia and Libby, rhymes with Maria, of the Yarn Raising podcast. I was going to add spinning in there, Malia. I don't know what happened. And Libby of the Multicraftual podcast. And Corey. It's a good time had by all. I did not attack any sheep. I know, I practiced excellent self-restraint. Even though, oh my gosh, one of her South Downs has the most amazing face in the entire world. She just looks at you like, hi, I'm looking into your soul. But not like in a judgy way, just like in a... That sheep should be a therapist. Joanna, I may have just hit upon a money-making opportunity for you. That sheep should be a therapist. Because she just looks at you and you're like, you know what, I'm flawed, but everything's okay. Thanks, sheep. It's like that. Animals are amazing. I can't believe, like, the older I get, the more I'm like, animals are amazing. I'm reverting to, like, a 7-year-old. I can't help it. Just that moment with his sheep, just like, nothing. Ah, sheep. Everything's okay. So awesome. So anyways, it was lovely and wonderful. And we canned tomatoes and we ate some food, and we ate some cupcakes. It was all good. We had a million things to do and we got like one done, but that's how life is, right? So that makes perfect sense. So fun. I got to be like an adult for like a whole day, just like an adult, just me. Which is sometimes a little scary because like, you know, I could be like, gosh, I was in mom mood. Of course I was crazy. This is just honestly like, oh, this is who I am, which is sometimes intimidating. Do you feel like that sometimes? I mean, it's great, but then you're also like, oh, sorry. But anyway, it was fun. And then there's knitting. Okay, so this episode will then contain knitting and spinning. It'll contain, no, it won't contain spinning. That was a lie. I have not done, I mean, I spun like an ounce in 2 weeks, right? Whatever. It'll contain knitting, and then it will also contain shameless self-promotion. So let's get into it. I want to remind you up front, I am going to extend the prize window for the Indie String Prize. She has donated a skein of her, what's it called again? Superior Worsted in the Silence colorway. So it's 200 yards of Falkland and it's squishy and lovely and good. But I'm going to extend that one more week. And I apologize, I should have looked at what day of the week that would be, but I didn't. But I think that means it would be like October 6th or something. I'll close it on next Tuesday. So this is September 30th. Tomorrow's October 1st. And I'm closing it that Tuesday. So it would be the first Tuesday in October. That line is going to get shut down. And then we'll do the prize next time. So thanks. There's also a coupon code. It is FSS10. And I don't know if caps matter, but in my little note, it's capitalized F like fat. Capitalize S like squirrel, capitalize S like speaks, 10 for 10% off your entire order. And then the colorway I'll show you in a minute will be released October 1st. The chipper one, the orange one I have. I'll show you that in a minute though, because it's in works in progress. First off, finished objects. So I finished my kiddo's Barley Hat. This is hand spun. This is Rambouillet, dyed by Spun Right Round, in the jellyfish colorway. My kiddo likes it quite a lot. Oh, it's a modified barley in that it does not have the ribbing. It has a hemmed border. So just do a, I do the crochet provisional cast on. And then the trick that I learned after how many years? But whatever, isn't it great? We can still learn new tricks. Is to, what I do is I put a knot in the, so the end that you unzip that makes it all perfect and you can pick up your stitches from your provisional cast on is the one, not that you start, but the one that you finish with, right? And which makes sense, right? Because when you take apart crochet, you take it apart from where you finished, not from where you began. So you put a knot where you start your provisional cast on. So before you do anything, you put a knot in the end of your string. Then you do your slip knot, then you chain your 5, then you do provisional cast on, then you chain your 5, and then you cut your string. And so then I can remember, oh, I need to not start with that end, but whatever works for you. But the knot tells me not to start there. So, and then you can unzip it and then you just knit 2 together all around to make the hemmy card, the hemmed edge. And that way it's just double thickness, which is exciting because that's about the thickness of ears, the height of ears. So it's double thickness on the ears. And it's a little bit, I won't try it on because you probably can't tell from there, but it's a little bit small for my head. It does fit on my head, but, well, it just looks especially crazy. And, oh, so it's a little bit slouchy on the top, which kind of is funny on her because she is not into, like, she has no awareness of how she looks to other humans, which is both magical and terribly frustrating. It's like, I'm so proud of her that she's just like, but at the same time, I'm like, dude, really? It's finding that line, you know, between like being independent and self-possessed and just like living in the world and not worrying about what other people see, but then also being like, okay, but we do have to fit into some sort of societal structure. So maybe you could not eat ice cream out of a bowl like you're a horse. It's that balance. I often find myself being like, Toa! And then I just stop because I'm like, oh, it's just going to make her more self-conscious and more self-aware and not in a good way. I'm like, oh, I don't say that. But really, I'm like, oh, stop eating ice cream out of a bowl like your horse. Obviously, I told her not to do that. But, you know, when her hair's like all, she has no, she refuses to let me cut her hair short. Not that I'm like pressuring her, but she's anti-short hair. But she has no concept of her hair just being like, but I hate to be the Dursleys. Like, Harry Potter! But that's often how I feel. Like, really get one ponytail that's like this and the other one that's like this. Whatever. I should just enjoy while it lasts, right? Okay. Second finished object. I finished my mittens! Well, her mittens. These are from a kit that was gifted to me. Thank you. And it's hand spun by Stefania. That's the lady's name, and this is hand spun. Isn't that crazy? But it's hand spun by Stefania. It's a kit. The pattern is available on Ravelry if you look under hand spun by Stefania. Or what I like to do is just look under thrummed mittens. But anyway, so I made it slightly shorter. Her pattern is written for the adult version. I made them just slightly shorter. I had made them like this short-ish. And then my daughter was convinced that they fit her well, but they did not. So I had to take the top apart, and then it's kind of a pain to take apart thrummed things, just FYI. Because those thrums get all like matted and dready, and then they stick to the yarn. So anyway, so here's what the mittens look like inside. Right? How fun is that crap? It's too fun! So they should be hopefully lovely and warm all winter long. So I have to knit her 2 more pairs of mittens before winter comes. Right. Whatever, at least they're mittens. And she asked for gloves, and I was just like, you only get gloves when your hands stop growing, because gloves are a pain in the neck to make. But mittens are cute, even when they're thrummed, and it takes a long time, but aren't they cute? And they're gonna be very fuzzy and warm. And she digs them. She's very excited about them. What was I gonna say? Oh, I need to make her 2 more pairs because I also have to make her felted pair for the winter. I'll talk more about that when I make them, but last year her felted pair were getting a little bit small. I make the ones from, I think it's, oh, I can't remember, it's knit 1, felt 2 or something. But then this part of the mitten is felted, but then this part, and you do provisional cast on with cotton, and you felt it, and then you go back after it's felted and take out the provisional cast on and knit the ribbing. So they actually will stay on your hand. Most felted mittens will not, because they don't have elasticity anymore. But that's super exciting. Hello. But anyway, so she had a pair that she had for quite some time, and they were getting a little bit small last year. And she really wanted a pair of fancy store-bought mittens that were like weathery, you know, like insulated, and those mittens stank. They never would dry. Like, she would go out and play with them, and then they would get wet, and then I would try to they took days to dry. It's the most ridiculous thing ever. So I gotta make her some more felted mittens this year, because the felted mittens will get wet eventually. They're pretty water resistant, but eventually they will get wet, but then you can just throw them on the heating register and they dry really quickly. Unlike those stinking manufactured ones, which took forever to dry. Okay, what else do we need to check out? I have 1 more finished object. Remember, I didn't record last week. So I finished my Mama's socks. Well, 1 pair of them. Very close to getting another pair finished. Not from Mama, from me. But these are my hand spun socks. Right? So this is hand spun. This is South Down that I purchased from Hilltop Cloud. And I apologize, I no longer know what the colorway was called. If you're new, I'm a huge fail on all fronts all the time. But I make up for it somehow. Allegedly. I tell myself. So anyway, this is hand spun from Hilltop Cloud. Yeah, it was a 3-ply South Down. It's not super wash, so I felt comfortable giving them to my mama because she, I think, will hand wash everything. because I tell her that the socks I make her are machine washable, and she thinks that, I think she thinks that that's like witchcraft or something. She's just like, oh, she doesn't know what to do with that. So I think she pretty much will hand wash all of her socks anyway, so I feel good about giving her hand spun non-superwash socks. I would obviously throw them in the machine at some point by accident because I'm a fool. But yay! And I still have this much yarn left. Bam. So, but I like them quite a lot. I hope she does too. They're a little bit less elastic than a... No, they're still pretty elastic. I'm just, you know, it's a little bit scratchier than like a merino sock yarn. So I'm like, I hope she likes them. But I'm sure she will because she likes everything. Just a plain old cuff down, slip stitch heel. These are more like a light sport weight. So I did them on 0s, I think, instead of 1s. So I only had to do a 48 stitch sock. Anyway, so those are done. I'm very pleased with them. I haven't washed them yet, so they might get more evened out. I don't know. But yay. And if ever you're worried about your hand spun being uneven, like this hand spun, like you can see right here. Wait, let me see if the camera will. I'm telling you, left and right's hard, people. Okay, and no, too far. Okay. No, focus over here, focusy thing. Not on my knuckle. Okay, there. Okay, so there you can very easily see, don't focus on my face. You can very easily see that my hand spun is not perfectly consistent in any way. Okay? That's just one bit. I mean, there's more bits that are uneven. Like right here. That one looks more even. So maybe that one looks good. But anyway, so you can see, but you can never tell in the sock itself. Like it does not look anywhere because it's knitted at a relatively tight gauge and it does not in any way look uneven. So even if you're afraid that your hand spun is not even, it's fine. Just knit it up. Especially if you knit it at a snugger gauge, it's going to be fine. It's true. Malia agrees with me. We're talking about it. Well, I agree with Malia. I believe that she probably put forth the idea. But it's known. Your hand spin does not have to be perfect. If you knit it, it's going to be perfect. Okay. Now for works in progress. Okay, so last time I showed you my chipper yarn. My orange squishy goodness. And again, that's from Indie String. This is in the chipper colorway. And I am knitting, what is it called? It's from, my hair is like, oh my lord, whatever. I obviously should have put a hat on. It's from the Tin Can. It's called the Simple Collection, right? They're the Maize mitts. M-A-I-Z-E, because again, they're all cereal crops, because I guess maize is not really a grain, right? Whatever. You don't care about that right now, do you? But so they're the Maize mitts. You can either make them as mitts or as mittens. And this is a free pattern on Ravelry. Her whole collection is free. It includes the Barley Hat. So here is my first bit. Yay! Now, some of you that know that I do not care for purling, you're going to be like, that's a lot of reverse stockinette in the round. I made them inside out. So, when I was knitting them, you're going to see my ends, but I wove them in. When I was knitting them, they looked like this to me. Okay, and the only thing I did was just, wherever it said to knit, I purled. When it said knit one, purl one, knit one, purl one, I purled one, knit one, purl one, knit one. So just did everything opposite. I think that's right. Right? That makes sense. Somehow I made it work. But so I did make them inside out. So you just have a little bit of ribbing and then mostly stockinette. And then the thumb gusset is reverse stockinette in that case. But I'm very pleased with how they turned out. I think they're super cute. Now these are a little bit, they have the ribbing, so they always are going to look a little smaller. But I also made them to be specifically a little bit snug. I made the 68s. Am I lying? No, I made the largest size, but my gauge was tighter than theirs because I like to knit the mitts and stuff at a tighter gauge. But I made them a little bit tinier than I normally would, just because I like the fit of them to be snug. And oftentimes I don't like the way regular stockinette looks when it's pulled a bit, because the lines open up. But in reverse stockinette, it's a-okay. So I like them a lot. I think they're super cute. And I like how the little thumb gusset, like you get that really great line. Isn't that fun? So yeah, and I'm enjoying the yarn quite a bit. And yeah. I'm just laughing at myself, people. Just go with it. See, you can see like when you have the regular stockinette, see it kind of pulls apart a little bit. It's more visible than in the reverse stockinette. That's a lot of me talking. But that's what the show's all about, right? Right. It's in my bag from the Knotted Bag, which is very autumnally and harvesty and good. Yay! Okay. 2 more finished off. This is really driving me crazy. Is this going to be any less worse? Not so much, but whatever. Okay, so next finished, or next work in progress. And I forgot to bring my card over. Okay, so Simply Sock Yarn does their own self-striping called Post Yarn. They may have posted on Instagram that they had a Halloween colorway. I may have bought it. Definitely I did, because I'm about to show it to you. Do I need any more fingering weight yarn? Like a hole in the head. Did I immediately buy this? Of course I did. Because I'm ridiculous. But here it is. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, again, the card's right over there. This is the Elm Street colorway, as in Nightmare On. And this is an 80% superwash Coriel, 20% nylon mix. It's actually coming over, well, no, it's pretty accurate. Can you see? Yeah, it's losing a little bit of the red values. So this is orange right here. Let me see if I focus, maybe it'll pick it up better. Oh, it's still looking gold. There is actually a brighter yellow and an orange it's reading them together. But if you go look on their site, you can see it better. So clearly I needed Halloween socks. Hey, I finished 1 pair. I still have 3 pairs of socks on the needles, which is ridiculous. Gotta get 1 more pair off to be even remotely sane. But isn't it fun? So I'm actually going to do a cuffed out. I think I'm actually going to do a regular slip stitch, a regular gusset heel, which I don't usually do for self-striping. However, this base is, the Coriadale has more tooth to it, and I feel like I knit more tightly with it because I've tried to make a pair of socks with her yarn before, and I made the afterthought heel, and I did it twice, and both times they were too small. Bummer. That yarn is in timeout for a while, evidently. So I'm knitting right now. I'm going to knit the cuff on zeros, which is a little bit looser than I would like it to be for the foot. But then I'll go down to zeros as soon as I start the heel flap, and knit the heel and the gussets, and then the rest of the foot in a double zero. Did I say that right? I think so. While both my legs and feet are fat, my leg is fatter than my feet. Foot, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. And also I don't mind if the gauge is looser on the leg because that's not where it's taking the wear for me. For where I'm wearing them is really just straight up on the bottoms. So yeah, isn't that cute? My daughter was like, Mama, I want it. And I was like, look, feel it. It's Coriadale, it's a little too scratchy for you. Usually I'm like, woman up, you can do it. And I'm like, no, that's way too scratchy for you. It's barely even, again, it's got a little tooth, that's all. But don't tell her. Her feet grow too fast for me to make her socks. Not happening. She would wear them like 5 times and they would be over forever. Not doing it. Okay, so 1 more thing to show you, then we'll do shameless self-promotion. Okay. Okay, let me see if I can find the name of this pattern, which I will then proceed to butcher. That's right. I don't know really how to say this in any way, and I did actually try to look it up, but I could not find it. It's called Drachenfels. That's how I'm saying it. Drachenfels. It's by Melanie Berg. And she's a designer. Lately I've been like, I had never really seen or maybe paid attention to any of her patterns. Lately I've found several that I'm really intrigued by. So here is the one I am doing. It's a 3-color shawl in garter stitch. It's written for sport weight. It requires a skein each of 3 different colors of sport. Approximately 333 yards of the primary and the tertiary color. That's really not right, but the main color, first color, it's just the color ABC. So first color is and the last color are about 333 yards, and then the neutral that ties them together, or not neutral, doesn't matter, is about 300 yards. Right. So this is a point to longest end. So it is, what are we calling that, a boomerang? Because it's really not a traditional triangle because it's more shallow, but it's not as shallow as like the Martina Bems. I don't think. I think it's deeper than a Martina Bem, proportionately. Because of the way the increases are running. Pretty sure it's deeper. I like the shape of it. And I really like the color combinations. There are several really good looking ones on the internets. But here's mine. I'm knitting mine with the Woolen Rabbit. And I am knitting it, sorry, it's just meant for the tags. Here, it's so crazy. I'm knitting mine, it says Woolen Rabbit. This is her Emma base, which is a DK. Now, notice I said the pattern was written for sport, but this is a DK that has 330 yards, which is more yardage than I could find in most sports. And it's 85% Polworth, 15% silk. So, here's mine. I'm just trying to show you the right side. Here's mine so far. Yeah, again, we're losing a little bit of red. I think it's because of the curtain in the back, because this purple is looking bluer than it really is. So here's where you cast on. The purple is called Arabian Nights. The gray is called Gray Goose. And then we're transitioning into the blue, which is called, I believe it's called Man Cave Blue, if I'm not mistaken. So, Arabian Nights. That looks a little bit more accurate. Gray Goose. And then the Man Cave Blue. So I had to shorten my, so this section right here, I had to shorten that down quite a bit because I was running out of yarn. But again, mine is DK versus sport, and I did not in any way check my gauge. I just found a needle size that I liked, the fabric, and went with it. So, and I really do like this yarn. It's got a nice squish content. It's just got a tiniest bit of shine from the silk. And Polworth is kind of more, it's more merino-y in terms of, but anyways, I really love the colors, and I love the garter stitch in the DK weight. It just has so much body to it. Like me. I love it. So I often, my inefficient knitting is I'm constantly like, squish it. Squish it. But, so yeah, there it is. Wait, now it's, yeah, no, that's, no. Break. It's this way. So it'll be a substantial shawl. Now, of course, it's not going to get that much bigger than this because, you know, now we're getting big rows to eat up those yarns. Eat up those yarns. But anyway, so I'm not so good at picking colors. This purple, I knew that I wanted these 2 colors. Like that, I needed that. Look, there's still a leaf on there from Joanna's house. It's just fall. See, look, it's a Joanna spring leaf. So I knew I wanted these colors really badly. But I just didn't know what the other colors should be. Oh, the 3 colors is so hard. So I ended up with purple, which is not really my favorite color at all. But I thought it kind of worked. I don't know. But whatever. It is what it is. But there are some really great ones on the entrance. You should go look. Some very good color combinations. But I still like mine. And I think it's going to look fun when it's done. I think it'll look fun on, and it's going to feel so good and squishy. I'm excited. Okay, so that's all the knitting. So the remainder of the show will be shameless self-promotion. So if you're not interested in shameless self-promotion, that's okay. You don't have to stick around. It's the beauty of the internets. And if you don't, I will talk to you next time. But if you do want to stick around, then you'll be my favorites. Shh. Okay, so... Sorry, and a set of needles just showed up on the table and I have no idea. Oh, I bet they were for my mitts. I'm like, what are these for? Oh, I didn't tell you any of my needle sizes. Not that you care that much. But I'm knitting my Drachenfluten on a US 5, which is 3.75 millimeter. And I'm knitting my little Maize mitts on, I'm not sure what these are, but I feel like they're 1.5s, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. I would have to check. Okay, which again, that's worsted on 1.5. So again, I like them on a snugger gauge. Maybe they're 3s. Whatever. I don't even. I have no idea. Why am I even still talking? Okay, but now for real, shameless self-promotion. So all the bags I'm about to have handles, but I didn't put them on yet for no good reason. They're actually already sewn. I just didn't put them on. So this update will be October 3rd. That's this Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern. I am going to try to get another update ready for October 10th. But it may not happen until October 17th. So definitely the first Friday in October, maybe the second or third Friday. One of those two. I'm just not sure how much I can get done. I really like to get it done that second Friday in October, just because we have a lot going on. We're going to my mother's house. But we have a lot going on, so it might be the next week. So, either way. Okay, so, let's see. How should I do this? I don't know what order to show them to you. Okay, first off, I'll just do the order there in my lap. So we have these guys. So this fun little paisley. And it'll be both in a small wedge size and a large wedge size. Every bag this week is just lined with standard unbleached cotton. So yes, there's those. So yay, they're all autumnally this week. And next time too. And then this guy I have in 3 sizes. And you can see he's kind of a, see that's kind of a coordinate. That's right. You can have, they don't matchy match, but they go. So I have this guy, and this is the Aran sweater. You can see it's rather spacious. So I have it in Aran sweater. And I'll have it in the regular sweater size. And I'll have it in the large wedge size. So again, relatively variable fabric. And then the last fabric I have in both the sweater size. Again, this is, I guess this is relatively accurate. It just looks slightly more tomatoey, but it may just be my screen that I'm looking on. But it's a nice warm red. And then it'll have in the Aran sweater. So yay, those. And I think that's all. So I hope you have a lovely week. I'm sure you will. And I will talk to you next time. Bye.